What's up? This is Matt Brown with another IoT hacking video. Today I have a new device to look at. It is a 4G GPS tracker. This is the Moto Watchdog tracker. At least that's the name of it on Amazon. I definitely probably got scammed. So let's dig in and learn a little bit more about this device that I purchased. Don't know if it was the smartest purchase in the world. I wanted to go with one of the devices that included data like for life, and so you'll notice here in this picture it says includes lifetime subscription for 4G data and SIM card, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Like maybe I could use that SIM card for some other things that might be fun. But this product is very interesting for a number of reasons. So first thing we're going to do in this first video is we're going to do a little open source intelligence to figure out what we can on the public internet about this device that I received. And so, yeah, you'll see that this device is advertised as a little device here that you can, it's got a magnet on the bottom. You can slap this on a car, you can slap it on any other metal object, and it will communicate the GPS over the 4G LTE data connection. And then there's this mobile app that it goes with, that you log into the mobile app and you are able to track the location of your tracker, right? And it's going to be super accurate, GPS, right? And it's all included, so you don't have to pay a subscription. And I didn't want to give anybody my credit card for a subscription for these very sketchy services. So let's talk a little bit before we even dig into the hardware about this device. So this device prompts you in its material to go and download an app, and we're going to look at the Android app, the Moto Watchdog app. And then we're going to go to APK Pure. It's just a third-party site that you can download Android APKs from. So we're going to go here, and we're going to see, okay, here's this Moto Watchdog app. This is the name of the developer of the app. That is an interesting detail. I'm not going to go too far down that rabbit trail. That's not the point of this. But we can see up here in the URL actually the like core name of the underlying Android app is ENECG, I don't know how you pronounce that, .mwd. So I assume that last part stands for Mobile Watchdog. So now what's very interesting about this is if we go and we just search, let's just search that into DuckDuckGo here, and we actually find this parent company that sells this device. And not gonna put this company super on blast here, but it is interesting that they seem to kind of be into all sorts of different selling of products and things on Amazon. So here's a gym management dashboard. Here's the Moto Watchdog project. Here's Front Desk, some kind of gym membership management software, right? So, clearly a software developer that works on a couple of different projects. And yeah, another really interesting thing is if we go to the LinkedIn, which I'm not logged in, that's not the point of this, is to put somebody on blast. But we do say they're located in Connecticut, which is really fascinating because if you look down here in the Amazon listing, where is it? Right here, like in their little diagram of the app. Now, I don't think this is like a real house on this street. I actually went and looked. But they have the location there of Bridgeport, Connecticut. So who knows if that was like live data and they were driving around and using the app there. But with that, I want to go over to the desk because there are some very fishy things right out of the box. And the box is actually part of what we're going to talk about. So let's go over to our desk. I have the microscope in the way. I'll take that out. So I will show you what I found when I unboxed this. So I've got this all wired up with a whole bunch of wires for reasons, which I will explain in a minute. But in the box came this tracker and a piece of paper explaining how to download the app. I ripped off my code and PIN number. Those are the credentials that are associated with my tracker that allow me to gain access to its data. And the box is a pretty, generic box, but the funny thing about the box is it's all branded with the Moto Watchdog stuff, so is this piece of paper. But check out our tracker. This is the sketchiest thing we've probably ever seen. Just tracker 4G. That's the most generic thing you've ever seen. And then what looks like it might be a model number of the device, we see it says A7670SA. That is not the model number necessarily of this device. I don't think they even have a real model number for this sketchy piece of hardware. So we're going to look under the microscope at this device. Oop, wrong camera. Here we go. Okay, so that's our battery, but here is our circuit board. So if you remember those numbers I listed off, we'll get this turned around the right way. And we'll notice that here we are looking at the cell module for this device. And we can see that the name listed on the outside of the plastic housing for this GPS tracker, it just is the product identifier for the cell modem. And so that's interesting. So this is a very, very sketch, generic product that we're dealing with here. And then we're going to look around the board, because on this board, I'll show you, there was a shield right here. And what I expected to find behind that shield was some kind of a microcontroller. Because, okay, so here we have our GPS module. So just a lot of things that make me think this is the GPS module, and we'll get to those in a little bit. But this is the GPS module. We have the cell modem. So we need a way to grab the data from here and send it to over the cell modem, right? There should be a microcontroller under here. There's absolutely nothing under there. This is all blank, and this other IC on here is just for charging the battery. So we have USB-C coming in over here, and then that comes down here, and it connects up to this battery charging circuit, and then we have our battery connectors here, which were soldered on in the worst way possible, and they broke off, and that's why I have these wires all plugged in like this. So again, if there's no microcontroller to send the GPS data over to the cell modem, then how does it get the GPS out? And this is a mystery that we will be exploring in our later episodes. But first, we're going to do a bit of a teardown of this device. So really fast, I'm going to switch back to the desk cam, and I've just got one screw, and we're going to just see the other side of this circuit board. So I'm going to take that screw off. And now we can go back under the microscope and take a look. Okay. So here's that same side of the circuit board. Now we can flip it over, and we can see that this is the GPS antenna. So that is connected up to the GPS module, which is right on the other side. So that all makes a lot of sense, right? And then we also have the SIM card here. So the SIM card is connected up to the cell modem, of course. But again, there's the missing logic of any microcontroller to take the GPS data and pass it over the cell connection. And then yeah, we just have a button. We have the USB-C here. And then these are little pogo pins that connect up to the LTE antenna. And the only reason why I keep this this part screwed on is because there are the pads where those pogo pins connect to, and that is our LTE antenna. So I'm going to put that all back together just so that antenna is connected. So yeah, this device baffled me for a while, and it led me down a lot of rabbit holes in trying to understand how like LTE would even, get like a GPS location and things like that, and can LTE send GPS over the protocol natively? Still have lots of questions. I'm sure there's someone watching this video who knows more than me. Please comment down below and tell me. So, but again, the big components that we have here, we'll go back under the microscope. So, we have the cell modem, and we have the GPS. Chip here. I have probed between this chip and this chip, and I can find no connection points. I think this circuit board was designed to have a processing chip here that took the GPS data and sent it over that signal. But then you have to ask yourself, well, how does the location work? But we're gonna talk about that, like I said, in another video. So now we're just gonna continue our information gathering process. So right here, we can see the GPS module is a Quictel L76K, and then, like we said before, we already identified the cell module. So I'm going to go over to my computer, and I'm going to show you just the standard process of Googling stuff. So the first thing I do is I type in SimCom right here, and SimCom and the name of that cell module chip. And they've got a bunch of file downloads here, and you can click to download them, and it's like, hey, you have to log in first. So this is a big thing when you're doing hardware hacking. You're gonna find that documentation, like the openness that has made great strides in the software arena, right? The push for open source software, open documentation. Trying to make me log in here. That does not exist as much in the hardware world, right? Oftentimes, just basic documentation for how a chip works will be locked behind some kind of a registration process. But something I want to encourage you to do is just make an account, register, just try it. Call yourself a security researcher. Like, type in all the fields, and you can make up phone numbers and stuff like that. Don't give them anything sensitive. But usually they're gonna let you create an account. So I was able to create an account and download this hardware documentation for the cell module. So the other thing I was able to get was another document, which I don't have the link up here. Hang on, I'll pull it up. We're going to switch over to that one. And this is the at command manual. So at commands are a type of serial interface, a serial protocol that is text-based, where you can send data over a serial line, and you can interact with the cellular modem of the device. And so these at commands are not a really tightly defined standard. Every chip implements mostly the same commands, but each manufacturer will have its own quirks, what commands it supports, what commands it doesn't. The basic set of these commands is fairly common, but again, among different cell modem manufacturers, you will find differences. And so it's really nice to have a complete list on this device of all the commands it supports. I'm gonna get to like the table of contents. Here we go. So let's say I want the @command for networks, and specifically around what network operator is being selected. So I can look at here and I can find the command that says list of supported blah, 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 blah. So it's telling you the list of supported network types. And here it will actually read. So it'll actually read here what the current network it is connected to. These are all super useful, and we're going to use these in the next video. So one more piece of open source intelligence we did is we gathered the name and identifier of this GPS chip right here. So here, this one, they do let you directly download like the hardware design doc here. Oh, no, they don't? Oh, I did have to log in for that. I must have been logged in my other browser. So, oh, you can download their product brochure. Well, that's nice. Same thing, create an account, like go that extra mile and get the documentation, and then throw it in a folder full of all the hardware documentation that you've ever downloaded, and just keep it. It's a really good idea, helpful for later. So I have that document right here. And something we're going to go into in the next video, I'll just give you a sneak peek of what we're going to look at. So here in this document, we can see the pin assignments that correspond to that chip that we see for the TX and RX lines. And why that is important is because if we go back up to this application interface, we will see that it defines over this UART interface the support for firmware upgrades and NMEA output. So this is a standardized format for communicating location information out of a GPS module like this. And so we are actually going to be able to connect up a logic analyzer to the TX pin that we found in that pin diagram, and we will then be able to decode the GPS data that is coming out of the device. And so that is what you have to look forward to in our next videos. So thank you for watching this. If you have other sketchy devices that seem like scams that you want a sucker to buy and do a hardware breakdown of, feel free to leave that device down in the comments or join our Discord. Our Discord has been going really well. Been lots of good discussions on IoT hacking and all sorts of side projects that people are doing. So feel free to jump in there and get involved. Thank you and have a good day.